Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. My apologies for a few days without actual commentary content. I should have posted yesterday, but it kind of slipped away from me. I know I released some Red Dead Redemption 1 content, some gaming videos a few hours ago, just because I was having fun. Thought I'd record it for a couple uploads, but I know it's been like 5 uploads without horror. This channel is mainly a horror channel though, because we're gonna be covering a new franchise soon enough. But I wanted to make a video about kind of like a sequel piece to my last horror video I released about 4 or 5 days ago. I think it was. It was my video defending A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, The Dream Master. So this one's gonna be another defending video, and we're gonna be defending A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child. So I would like to do one for Friday the 13th Part 3, and I think there's a lot of people who hate that. Not people don't hate it, but people it's gotten a lot more flack, I feel like, in these recent years. So it'd be nice to make a video on that, but this will be the last Elm Street film I defend, because from here on out, Freddy's Dead is bad. Freddy vs. Jason's pretty good. I mean, it's fun, and then the remake's bad. So I mean, this is to me the last one that, because the first 3 are pretty much loved by everybody. Part 2 is a little iffy. I love it. I enjoy it. It's not my favorite, but I feel like most people it's unproblematic basically. It's not, people don't hate that movie like they hate this film. So without further ado, I'm going to be talking about why I think The Dream Child isn't as bad as people think it is. So let's talk about the things most people say. 1, Freddy looks stupid. Which, I mean, yeah, the makeup for Robert Englund, it's not as good as the makeup was in Part 4 and 3, because that was the same makeup, pretty close to each other. I believe, what was it, Kevin Yates? Did Kevin Yeager? I don't know if Kevin Yeager did the makeup for this one. I think he did Part 4 and Part 3, but I think he might have done this one. And he said that even he looks at it it wasn't his best work. And yeah, Freddy looks a little bit too pink, kind of bubblegum kind of colored. I'll admit that, but I also hear he's too over the top campy in this one, which to an extent I agree with, but at the same time he's not, in my opinion personally, he hasn't got to that level yet until Freddy's Dead, because he still mocks him. A lot of the good Freddy humor is when he basically does something to mock the characters right before he's about to kill him. And still, the Bon Appetit scene where he force feeds Greta. He force feeds her, and I think he was supposed to be in the unrated version. He scoops at her insides and feeds them. It's very dark, and pretty sick. So still that darker part of Elm Street right there, of the films. And even if Mark's death was a little more better, I mean, it was really, that's the one I could see is a little too campy, where he gets slashed up and there's the whole "told ya, comic books were bad for ya." But the Dan death, that one's a pretty big not opening kill, but the first one to set the tone, because that kill is awesome to me. I know, there's a lot more comedy after that, but even if you hate this film, you gotta say that scene is really awesome. When the whole wires he's turning into some skeleton riding the motorcycle towards the end. That's don't dream and drive. Yeah, that's a good Freddy one-liner right there. Another person that gets hated on so much in this franchise, Alice Johnson is probably the most, I'd say, people call her forgettable, but I feel like a lot of Elm Street fans, including myself, agree that I'd say most people say Kristen's still a better character than her, and I agree with that statement. If we're talking about Patricia Arquette's Kristen, yeah, even though Tuesday Night didn't do that bad, I think she was alright, but she wasn't that good at Kristen. So I feel like if it would have been Patricia Arquette for both those movies, I'd still put her above Alice, but I'd put her above her. But now I'd probably put Alice and her run a close second to number 2 behind Nancy in this franchise for me. But I really do enjoy Alice. I think she's great in this. Lucy Wilcox, if you can look, she's another great part of this film, even with some of the bad. And let's talk about that premise. Yeah, it's the ending where he's the ghost boy, or he's like shown by this, represented by this older version of her baby, where he's like, he does the Freddy impression and pukes, like, and it sends like Freddy, these like the heads of Mark and Dan and Greta pull him back when he goes flying into Amanda Kruger's womb. But that's very cheesy. But the premise of it being like an unborn child that dreams all the time, and Freddy can really use that to come back to life, that is a great premise. And I believe I watched the Never Sleep Again documentary. I believe, and it was one of the executives. She was pregnant at the time or something, and she gave the idea, and I think she felt bad about it after it flopped. But that's kind of sad because she had a great idea. It's not her fault that it flopped. And apparently it didn't even like. You hear it like it was a big commercial like failure. Yeah, compared to Dream Master it was, but I think it was competing with some really big projects at that time. That's why it didn't do as good. So I feel like this movie's gonna be one of those in the future. Some people are gonna come around to it and like see it's actually a pretty good Freddy movie. Like what I put on Dream Warriors level, or the original, or Dream Master, or even Freddy vs. Jason level. Probably not. I would put anywhere into those. I'd also say yeah, Freddy's Revenge is better, but this is a good movie to me. I like it. It's an underrated opinion, right? But yeah, just another thing I like about it is Amanda Kruger. So the past, they didn't really go into it much in Dream Master, but in Dream Warriors, we're introduced to Amanda, Freddy's mom. We get to see the scene, or not. It doesn't actually happen on camera, but we see like what happened. The son of the bastard son of 100 maniacs, and we see that we see Freddy get pushed into that, and we see how it happened. He gets torn apart by them, but we see Alice, she's in the nun outfit, and she's getting attacked by them. You can imagine her fear and stuff, and we get to see that kind of really natural conclusion to that plot that they introduced back in Dream Warriors. So this does, say you know about this film, this feels like a really good conclusion, or a big conclusion to that Dream trilogy, because next is Freddy's Dead, and this film, like I said, it's not as good as the others. It's not as good as, my personal opinion. It's higher up in the list, but objectively, I think it is definitely better than those Freddy's Dead and the remake. And some people put this movie at the bottom, which is just dumb to me. I get people have their grievances with it because it's really there's a lot of the comedic Freddy in it, but at the same time, I mean, you're ignoring some of the actual still dark stuff that happened, right? The girl getting her insides fed to her on the unrated edition, I think, and also, Dan's death. So, the whole thing, I guess in my defense, is, if you look at it with a pre-notion that it's all like, it's too campy, you're looking at it wrong, because it's campy. It's campy, but it's not too campy, for me at least. So, I'd say just turn on Dream Child with an open mind. Because I'll tell you this, when I was younger, I had the same beliefs on this movie. The same beliefs as almost everybody does. I always had I'd watch reviews and I was negative. Oh, this movie sucks. Dream Master was good. Then Dream Warriors was great, and this movie's gonna suck. Yeah, I always disliked it. But then around the time I was doing my rewatches, my opinion changed from the review to now. So I rewatched it again, and I turned off all my pre-notions, because I was doing a little marathon. I had watched the original, I think part 3. I don't know if I skipped over part 2. I had watched part 3 and part 4. Next day I watched part 5. So you can see maybe that was a new day and stuff. But I just turned off my pre-notions, and this movie was actually enjoyable to me. I had a lot of fun with it. And that's I was like, what? I always hated this film. How am I actually, starting to enjoy it? And it felt good. It's very, I feel like the characters need to be fleshed out more, but besides that, it's not bad. So that's just my in defense. So in short, it's not as bad as people say it is. So go check out Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, and tell me what you think. So the next video I'll probably be making a defense of Friday the 13th Part 3 because I love that movie. And then I'll be doing a new horror franchise soon. So it might be Child's Play, it could be the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So if you're watching this, again, I love you guys. You guys are a big part of why I do this, the reason I do this. And I'm extremely thankful for your support. So if you want to comment down what franchise you want next. I have a poll up too from a couple weeks ago, voting. I think that one's done. But if someone wants to go in there and vote, the options right now are Hellraiser, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Child's Play. So, yeah, whatever you guys want, I'll do. I love you guys. Take care. Stay blessed. Christ loves you. See you in the next one.